Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lenovo Transform. Please welcome to the stage Lenovo's Rod Lappin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hey, here we go. I was up the back having a chat. A bit faster than I expected. How are you all doing this morning? Good? How fantastic is it to be in New York City? Excellent. So my name's Rod Lappin. I'm with the data center group, obviously. I do basically anything that touches customers, from our salespeople, our pre-sales engineers, our architects, etc., all the way through to our channel partner sales engagement globally. So that's my job, but enough of that, okay? So the weather this morning, absolutely fantastic. Not a cloud in the sky, perfect. A little bit different to how it was yesterday, right? I want to thank all of you because I know a lot of you had a lot of commuting issues getting into New York yesterday with all the storms. We have a lot of people from international and domestic travel caught up in obviously the network, which blows my mind actually, but we have a lot of people here from Europe, obviously, a lot of analysts and media people here, as well as customers who were caught up in circling around the airport apparently for hours. So a big round of applause for our team from Europe. Thank you for coming. We had some people who commuted a very short distance. So for example, our own server general manager, Cameron Armani, he's up the back there. Cameron, how long did it take you to get from Raleigh to New York? An hour and a half flight. 17 hours, ladies and gentlemen. It's a fantastic distance. I think that's amazing. But I know a lot of us, obviously in the United States, have come a long way with the storms. Obviously very tough. But I'm gonna call out one individual, Chanel from Spotless. Where are you, Chanel? You're here somewhere. There he is from Australia. Chanel, how long did it take you to come in from Australia? 25 hours, ladies and gentlemen. A big round of applause. It's a pretty big effort. Chanel, actually, I want you to stand up if you don't mind. I've got a seat here right next to my CEO. You've come the longest distance. How about a big round of applause for Chanel? We'll put him in my seat next to YY. Yeah, YY's I gotta shake your hand. Honestly, Chanel, you're doing me a favor. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a big day today. Obviously, my seat now taken there. Fantastic. Obviously, New York City, the absolute pinnacle of globalization. I first came to New York in 1996, which is before a lot of people in the room were born, unfortunately for me these days, was completely in awe. I obviously went to a Yankees game, had no clue what was going on, didn't understand anything to do with baseball. Then I went and saw Patrick Ewing. Some of you would remember Patrick Ewing. Saw the Knicks play basketball, had no idea what was going on. Obviously from Australia and somewhat slightly height challenged, basketball was not my thing, but I loved it. I really left that game. That was the first game of basketball I'd ever seen. Left that game realizing that effectively the guy throws the ball up at the beginning, someone taps it, that team gets it, they run it, they put it in the basket, then the other team gets it, they put it in the basket, the other team gets it. That's basically the entire game. So I haven't really progressed from that sort of learning or understanding of basketball since then. But for me personally, being here in New York and obviously presenting with all of you guys today, it's really humbling. From obviously, some of you would have picked my accent. I'm also from Australia, from the North Shore of Sydney. And to be here is just a fantastic, fantastic event. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Transform, part of our Tech World Series globally in our event series and our event season here at Lenovo. So once again, big round of applause. Thank you for coming. Today basically is the culmination of what I would classify as a very large journey. And many of you have been with us on that. So customers, partners, media, analysts, obviously. We've got quite a lot of our industry analysts in the room. I know Matt Eastwood yesterday was on a train because he sent a tweet out saying there's 170 people on the Wi-Fi network. He was obviously a bit concerned he was going to get there. I know Pat Moorhead, he got in at 3:30 this morning, obviously from traveling here as well with some of the challenges with the transportation. So we've got a lot of people in the room that have been giving us advice over the last 2 years. And I think all of our employees are joining us live, all of our partners and customers through the stream, as well as everybody in this packed out room. We're very, very excited about what we're going to be talking to you all today. I want to have a special thanks, obviously, to our R&D team in Raleigh and around the world. They've also been very, very focused on what they've delivered for us today, and it's really important for them to also see the culmination of this great event. And like I mentioned, this is really the feedback. It's not just a Lenovo launch. This is a launch based on the feedback from our partners, our customers, our employees, the analysts. We've been talking to all of you about what we want to be when we grow up from a data center group. And I think you're going to hear some really exciting stuff from some of the speakers today and in the demo and breakout sessions that we have after the event. This last 2 years, we've really transformed the organization, and that's one of the reasons why that theme is part of our Tech World series today. We're very, very confident in our future, obviously, and where the company's going. It's really important for all of you to understand today and take every single snippet that YY, Kirk, and Christian talk about today in the main session, and then our presenters in the demo sections on what Lenovo is actually doing for its future and how we're positioning the company, obviously, for that future and how the transformation, the digital transformation is going ahead globally. So, all right. We are now going to step into our Transform event, and I've got a quick agenda statement for you. The very first thing is we're going to hear from YY, our chairman and CEO. He's going to discuss artificial intelligence, the evolution of our society, and how Lenovo is clearly positioning itself in the industry. Then, obviously, you're going to hear from Kirk Skaugen, our president of the Data Center Group, our new boss. He's going to talk about how long he's been with the company and the transformation, once again, we're making very specifically to the Data Center Group and how much of a difference we're making to society in some of our investments. Christian Theismann, our SVP and general manager of our client business, is going to talk about the 25 years of ThinkPad. And this year is the 25-year anniversary of our ThinkPad product, easily the most successful brand in our client range, all client range globally of any vendor, most successful brand we've had launched. And this afternoon, breakout sessions, obviously, with our keynotes, fantastic sessions. Make sure you actually attend all of those after this main arena here. Now, once again, listen, ask questions, and make sure you're giving us feedback. One of the things about Lenovo that we say all the time, there is no room for arrogance in our company. Right? Every single person in this room is a customer, partner, analyst, or an employee. We love your feedback. It's only through your feedback that we continue to improve. And it's really important that through all of the sessions where the Q&As happen, breakouts afterwards, you're giving us feedback on what you want to see from us as an organization as we go forward. All right. So what were you doing 25 years ago? I spoke about ThinkPad being 25 years old, but let me ask you this. I bet you any money that no one here knew that our x86 business is also 25 years old. So this year, we have both our ThinkPad and our x86 anniversaries for 25 years. Let me tell you, what were you guys doing 25 years ago? There's me, 25 years ago. It's a bit scary, isn't it? It's very svelte and athletic and a lot lighter than I am today. It makes me feel a little bit conscious. And you can see the black and white shot. It shows you that even if you're really, really short and you come from the wrong side of the tracks to make some extra cash, you can still do some modeling as long as no one else is in the photo to give anyone any perspective. So very important. I think I might have got one photo shoot out of that. I don't know. But I had to do it. I needed the money. All right. Let me show you another couple of photos. Very interesting. How's this guy? How cool does he look? Huh? Very svelte and athletic. I think there's no doubt he looks much, much cooler than I do. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it gives me great honor to obviously introduce our very, very first guest to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, our chairman and CEO, Yang Yang, or as we like to call him, YY. Big round of applause. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Rod, for your introduction. So actually, I didn't think I was younger than you 25 years ago. So I can't think of another city more fitting to host this Transform event than New York, a city that has transformed from a humble trading post 400 years ago to one of the most vibrant cities in the world today. It is a perfect symbol of transformation of our world, the rapid and deep transformations that propelled us from the steam engine to the internet era in just 200 years. Looking back 200 years ago, there was only a few companies that operated in a global scale. The total value of the world's economy was around 180 billion US dollars. That is only $180 for each person on Earth. Today, there are thousands of independent global companies that compete to sell everything from corn and crude oil to servers and software. They drive a robust global economy worth over $75 trillion, or $1,000 per person. Think about it. The global economy has multiplied almost 450 times in just 2 centuries. What is even more remarkable is that the economy has almost doubled every 15 years since 1950. That is a significant transformation for businesses and for the world in a tiny slice of time. This transformation is the result of the greatest advancement in technology in human history. Not one, but 3 industrial revolutions have happened over the last 200 years. But if those revolutions created a remarkable change, they were just the beginning. Today, we are standing at the beginning of the 4th revolution. This revolution will transform how we work and live in ways that no one could imagine in the 18th century, or even just 18 months ago. And you are the people who will lead this revolution. Along with Lenovo, we will redefine IT. IT is no longer just the information technology. It's intelligent technology, intelligent transformation. A transformation that is driven by big data, cloud computing, and artificial intelligence. If the transition from PC internet to mobile internet is a big leap, then today we are facing yet another big leap from the mobile internet to the smart internet or intelligent internet. In this smart internet era, cloud enables devices such as PCs, smartphones, smart speakers, smart TVs, AR, VR to provide content and services. But the evolution does not stop there. Ultimately, almost everything around us will become smart with built-in computing, storage, and networking capabilities. That's what we call the device plus cloud transformation. These smart devices, incorporated with various sensors, will continuously sense our environment and send data about our world to the cloud. In order to store and process this ever-increasing big data and to support the delivery of cloud content and services, the data center infrastructure is also transforming to be more agile, flexible, and intelligent. That's what we call the infrastructure plus cloud transformation. But most importantly, it's the human wisdom, the deep learning algorithm rigorously improved by engineers that enables artificial intelligence to learn from big data and make everything around us smarter. With the big data connected from smart devices, computing power of the new infrastructure and the trained artificial intelligence, we can understand the world around us more accurately and make smarter decisions. We can make lives better, work easier, and society safer and healthy. Think about what is already possible as we start this transformation. Smart assistants can help you place orders online with a voice command. Driverless cars can run on the same road as traditional cars. Chatbots can help troubleshoot customers' problems. And virtual doctors already diagnose basic symptoms. This list goes on and on. Like every revolution before it, intelligent transformation will fundamentally change the nature of business. Understanding and preparing for that will be the key to the growth and the success of your business. The first industrial revolution made it possible to mechanize production. Water and steam power let us go from making things by hand to making them by machine. This transformed how fast things could be produced. It drove the quantity of merchandise made and led to massive increase in trade. With this revolution, business scale expanded and the number of customers exploded. 50 years later, the second industrial revolution made it necessary to organize business like the modern enterprise. Electric power and telegraph communication made business faster and more complex, challenging businesses to become more efficient and meet entirely new customer demands. In our own lifetimes, we have witnessed the third industrial revolution, which made it possible to digitize the enterprise. The development of computers and the internet accelerated business beyond human speed. Now, global businesses have to deal with customers at the end of a cable, not with a handshake. While we are still dealing with the effects of digitizing business, the fourth revolution is already here. In just the past 2 or 3 years, the growth of data and advancement in artificial intelligence has been astonishing. The computing power can now process the massive amount of data about your customers, suppliers, partners, competitors, and give you insights you simply could not imagine before. Artificial intelligence can not only tell you what your customers want today, but also anticipate what they will need tomorrow. But this is not just about making better business decisions or creating better customer relationships. It's about making the world a better place. Ultimately, could we build a new world without diseases, war, and poverty? The power of big data and artificial intelligence may be the revolutionary technology to make that possible. But the revolutions don't happen on their own. Every industrial revolution has its leaders, its visionaries, and its heroes. The master transformers of their age. The first industrial revolution was led by mechanics who designed and built power systems machines, and factories. The heroes of the second industrial revolution were the business managers who designed and built modern organizations. The heroes of the third revolution were the engineers who designed and built the circuits and the source code that digitized our world. And the master transformers of the next revolution are actually you. You are the designers and the builders of the networks and the systems. You will bring the benefits of intelligence to every corner of your enterprise and make intelligence the central asset of your business. At Lenovo, data intelligence is embedded into everything we do. How we understand our customers' true needs and develop more desirable products. How we profile our customers and market to them precisely. How we use internal and external data to balance our supply and demand. And how we train virtual agents to provide more effective after-sales services. So the decisions you make today about your IT investment will determine the quality of the decisions your enterprise will make tomorrow. So I challenge each of you to seize this opportunity to become a master transformer, to join Lenovo as we work together at the forefront of the fourth industrial revolution, as the leaders of the intelligent transformation. Today, we are launching the largest portfolio in our data center history as Lenovo. And we are fully committed to the intelligent transformation. Thank you.
Thanks, YY. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic. So how about a big round of applause for YY? Obviously, a great speech on the transformation that we in Lenovo are taking, as well as obviously wanting to journey with our partners and customers, obviously, on that same journey. And what I heard from him was obviously artificial intelligence, how we're leveraging that internally as well as externally and for our customers, and the investments we're making in the transformation around IoT, machine learning, obviously big data, etc. And obviously the data center group, which is one of the key things we've got to be talking about today. So we're on the cusp of that fourth revolution, as YY just mentioned. And Lenovo is definitely leading the way and investing in those parts of the industry in our portfolio to ensure we're complementing all of our customers and partners on what they want to be, obviously, as part of this new transformation we're seeing globally. And obviously now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, once again, to tell us more about what's going on today, our announcements, obviously, that all of you will be reading about and seeing in the breakout and the demo sessions with our segment general managers this afternoon, is our president of the data center, Mr. Kirk Skaugen.
Well, good morning, and let me add my welcome to Transform. I just crossed my 6 months here at Lenovo after over 24 years at Intel Corporation, and I can tell you we've been really busy over the last 6 months, and I'm more excited and enthusiastic than ever, and hope to share some of that with you today. Today's event is called Transform, and today we're announcing major new transformations in Lenovo, in the data center, but more importantly, we're celebrating the business results that these platforms are going to have on society. And with international supercomputing going on in parallel in Frankfurt, some of the amazing scientific discoveries that are going to happen on some of these platforms. Lenovo's gone through some significant transformations in the last 2 years since we acquired the IBM x86 business. And that's really positioning us for this next phase of growth. And we'll talk more about that later. So today we're announcing the largest end-to-end data center portfolio in Lenovo's history, as you heard from YY. And we're really taking the best of the x86 heritage from our IBM acquisition of the x86 server business, and combining that with the cost economics that we've delivered from kind of our China heritage. And as we've talked to some of the analysts in the room, it's really that best of the East and best of the West is combining together in this announcement today. We're going to be announcing 2 new brands, building on our position as the #1 x86 server vendor in both customer satisfaction and in reliability. And we're also celebrating next month in July a very significant milestone, which we'll be shipping our 20 millionth x86 server into the industry. So for us, it's an amazing time, and it's an inflection point to kind of look back, pause, but also share the next phase of Lenovo and the exciting vision for the future. We're also making some declarations on our vision for the future today. Again, international supercomputing is going on, and as it turns out, we're the fastest growing supercomputer company on Earth. We'll talk about that. Our goal today that we're announcing is that we plan in the next several years to become #1 in supercomputing, and we're going to put the investments behind that. We're also committing to our customers that we're going to disrupt the status quo and accelerate the pace of innovation, not just in our legacy server solutions, but also in software-defined. Because what we've heard from you is that lack of legacy, we don't have a huge router business or a huge SAN business to protect. It's that lack of legacy that's enabling us to invest and get ahead of the curve on this next transition to software-defined. So you're going to see us doing that through building our internal IP, through some significant joint ventures, and also through some mergers and acquisitions over the next several quarters. And altogether, we're driving to be the most trusted data center provider in the industry between us and our customers and our suppliers. So a quick summary of what we're going to dive into today, both in my keynote as well as in the breakout sessions. We're in this transformation to the next phase of Lenovo's data center growth. We're closing out our previous transformation. We actually, believe it or not, in the last 6 months or so, have renegotiated 18,000 contracts in 160 countries. We've built out an entire end-to-end organization from development and architecture all the way through sales and support. And this next transformation, I think, is going to really excite Lenovo shareholders. We're building the largest data center portfolio in our history. I think when IBM would be up here a couple of years ago, we might have 2 or 3 servers to announce time to market with the next Intel platform. Today, we're announcing 14 new servers, 7 new storage systems, an expanded set of networking portfolios based on our legacy with Blade Network Technologies and other companies we've acquired. 2 new brands that we'll talk about for both data center infrastructure and software-defined, a new set of premium premier services, as well as a set of engineered solutions that are going to help our customers get to market faster. We're going to be celebrating our 20 millionth x86 server, and as Rod said, 25 years in x86 server compute, and Christian will be up here talking about 25 years of ThinkPad as well. And then a new end-to-end segmentation model, because all of these strategies without execution are kind of meaningless. I hope to give you some confidence in the transformation that Lenovo's gone through as well. So having observed Lenovo from one of its largest partners, Intel, for more than a couple decades, I thought I'd just start with why we have confidence on the foundation that we're building off of as we move from a PC company into a data center provider in a much more significant way. So Lenovo today is a company of $43 billion in sales. Absolutely astonishing. It puts us about Fortune 202 as a company. We're with 52,000 employees around the world. We're supporting and have service personnel, almost a little over 10,000 service personnel that service our servers and data center technologies in over 160 countries that provide on-site service and support. We have 7 data center research centers, and one of the reasons I came from Intel to Lenovo is I saw that Lenovo became #1 in PCs, not through cost cutting, but through innovation. It was Lenovo that was partnering on the next generation Ultrabooks and 2-in-1s and tablets in the Moto mods that you saw. But fundamentally, our path to #1 in data center is going to be built on innovation. And then lastly, we're one of the last companies that's actually building not only our own motherboards and our own motherboard factories, but also with 5 global data center manufacturing facilities. Today, we build about 4 devices a second, but we also build about over 100 servers per hour. And the cost economics we get, and I just visited our Shenzhen factory, of having everything from screws to microprocessors come up through the elevator on the first floor, go left to build PCs and ThinkPads, and go right to build server technology, means we have some of the world's most cost-effective solutions so we can compete in things like hyperscale computing. So it's with that that I think we're excited about the foundation that we can build off of on the data center group. So today, as we stated, this event is about transformation. And today I want to talk about three things we're going to transform. Number one is the customer experience. Number two is the data center and our customer base with software-defined infrastructure. And then the third is to talk about how we plan to execute flawlessly with a new transformation that we've had internally at Lenovo. So let's dive into it. On customer experience, really, what does it mean to transform customer experience? Industry pundits say that if you're not constantly innovating, you can fall behind. And certainly the technology industry that we're in is transforming at record speed. 42% of business leaders or CIOs say that digital first is their top priority, but less than 50% actually admit that they have a strategy to get there. So people are looking for a partner to keep pace with that innovation and change, and that's really what we're driving to at Lenovo. So today we're announcing a set of plans to take another step function in customer experience and building off of our number one position. Just recently, Gartner chose Lenovo as the number 24 supply chains of companies over $12 billion. We're up there with Amazon, Coca-Cola, and we've now completely re-architected our supply chain in the data center group from end to end. Today, we can deliver 90% of our SKUs, order to ship in less than 7 days. And the artificial intelligence that YY mentioned is optimizing our performance even further. In services, as we talked about, we're now in 160 countries, supporting on-site support, 50 different call centers around the world for local language support, and we're today announcing a whole set of new premier support services that I'll get into in a second, but we're building on what's already better than 90% customer satisfaction in this space. And then in development, for all the engineers out there, we started foundationally for this new set of products talking about being number one in reliability and the lowest downtime of any x86 server vendor on the planet. And these systems today are architected to basically extend that leadership position. So let me tell you the realities of reliability. This is ITIC. It's a reliability report. 750 CIOs and IT managers from more than 20 countries. So North America, Europe, Asia, Australia, South America, Africa. This isn't anything that's paid for with sponsorship dollars. Lenovo has been number one for 4 years running on x86 reliability. This is the amount of downtime, 4 hours or more, in mission-critical environments from the leading x86 providers. So you can see relative to our top two competitors that are ahead of us, HP and Dell, you can see from ITIC why we're building foundationally off of this and why it's foundational to how we're developing these new platforms. In customer satisfaction, we are also rated number one in x86 server customer satisfaction. And this year, we're now incentivizing every single Lenovo employee on customer satisfaction and customer experience. It's been a huge mandate from myself and most importantly, YY as our CEO. So you may say, well, what is the basis of this number one in customer satisfaction? And it's not just being number one in one category, it's actually being number one in 21 of the 22 categories that TBR talks about. So whether it's performance, support systems, online product information, parts and availability replacement, Lenovo is number one in 21 of the 22 categories and number one for 6 consecutive studies going back to Q1 of 2015. So this, again, as we talk about the new product introductions, is something that we absolutely want to build on, and we're humbled by it, and we want to continue to do better. So let's start now on the new products and talk about how we're going to transform the data center. So today, we are announcing 2 new product offerings, Think Agile and Think System. Next slide, please. If you think about the 25 years of ThinkPad that Christian's going to talk about, Lenovo has a continuous learning culture. We're fearless innovators, we're risk takers, we continuously learn, but most importantly, I think we're humble and we have some humility, that when we fail, we can fail fast, we learn and we improve. And that's really what drove ThinkPad to #1. It took about 8 years from the acquisition of IBM's x86 PC business before Lenovo became #1. But it was that innovation, that listening and learning, and that improving. And as you look at the 25 years of ThinkPad, there were some amazing successes, but there were also some amazing failures along the way. But each and every time we learned and made things better. So this year, as Rod said, we're not just celebrating 25 years of ThinkPad, but we're celebrating 25 years of x86 server development since the original IBM PC servers in 1992. And it's a significant day for Lenovo. Today we're excited to announce 2 new brands, ThinkSystem and ThinkAgile. And it's an important new announcement that we started almost 3 years ago when we acquired the x86 server business. Why don't we run a video and we'll show you a little bit about ThinkSystem and ThinkAgile.
The status quo is comfortable. It gets you by. But if you think that's good enough for your data center, think again. If adoption is becoming more complicated when it should be simpler, think again. If others are selling you technology that's best for them, not for you, think again. It's time for answers that win today and tomorrow. Agile, innovative, different. Because different is better. Different embraces change and makes adoption simple. Different designs itself around you, using 25 years of innovation in design and R&D. Different transforms. It gives you ThinkSystem, world record performance, most reliable, easy to integrate, scales faster. Different empowers you with ThinkAgile. It redefines the experience, giving you the speed of cloud and the control of on-premise IT, responding faster to what your business really needs. Different defines the future. Introducing Lenovo ThinkSystem and ThinkAgile.
All right, good stuff, huh? So it's built off of this 25-year history of us being in the x86 server business, the commitment we established 3 years ago after acquiring the x86 server business to be and have the most reliable, most agile, and most highest performing data center solutions on the planet. So today we're announcing 2 brands. ThinkSystem is for the traditional data center infrastructure, and ThinkAgile is our brand for software-defined infrastructure. And again, the teams challenged themselves from the start, how do we build off this rich heritage, expanding our position as #1 in customer satisfaction, reliability, and one of the world's best supply chains. So let's start and look at the next set of solutions. We have always prided ourselves that little things don't mean a lot, little things mean everything. So today, as we sit on the legacy solutions, we have over 30 world record performance benchmarks on Intel architecture, and more than actually 150 since we started tracking this back in 2001. So it's the little pieces of innovation, it's the fine-tuning that we do with our partners like an Intel or a Microsoft, an SAP, VMware, and Nutanix that's enabling us to get these world record performance benchmarks. And with this next generation of solutions, we think we'll continue to certainly do that. So today we're announcing the most comprehensive portfolio ever in our data center history. There's 14 servers, 7 storage devices, and 5 network switches. We're also announcing, which is super important to our customer base, a set of new premier service options that's giving you fast access directly to a level 2 support person. No automated response system involved. You get to pick up the phone and directly talk to a level 2 support person that's going to have end-to-end ownership of the customer experience for ThinkSystem. With ThinkAgile, that's going to be completely bundled with every ThinkAgile you purchase. In addition, we're having white glove service on site that'll actually unbox the product for you and get it up and running. It's an entirely new set of solutions for hybrid cloud, for big data analytics and database applications around these engineered solutions. These are like 40 to 50 page guides where we've fine-tuned the most important applications around virtual desktop infrastructure and those kinds of applications, working side by side with all of our ISV partners. So significantly expanding not just the hardware, but the software solutions that obviously you as our customers are running. So if you look at ThinkSystem innovation, again, it was designed for the ultimate in flexibility, performance, and reliability. It's a single now unified brand that combines what used to be the Lenovo ThinkServer and the IBM System X products now into a single brand that spans servers, storage, and networking. We're basically future-proofing it for the next generation data center, and it's a significantly simplified portfolio. One of the big pieces that we've heard is that the complexity of our competitors has really been overwhelming to customers. So we're building a more flexible, more agile solution set that requires less work, less qualification, and more future-proofing. There's a bunch of things in this that you'll see in the demos around faster time to service in terms of the modularity of the systems, 12% faster service equating to almost $50,000 per hour of reduced downtime. Some new high-density options where we have 4 nodes in a 2U, twice the density to improve and reduce OpEx and mission-critical workloads. And then in high-performance computing and supercomputing, we're going to spend some time on that here shortly. We're announcing new water-cooled solutions. We have some of the most premier water-cooled solutions in the world, with more than 25 patents pending now just in the water-cooled solutions alone for supercomputing. The performance that we think we're going to see out of these systems is significant. We're building off of that legacy that we have today on the existing Intel solutions. Today, we believe we have more than 50% of SAP HANA installations in the world. In fact, SAP just went public that they're running their internal SAP HANA on Lenovo hardware now. We're seeing a 59% increase in performance on SAP HANA generation on generation. We're seeing 31% lower total cost of ownership. We believe this will continue our position of having the highest level of 5 nines in the x86 server industry. And all of these servers will start being available later this summer when the Intel announcements come out. We're also announcing the largest storage portfolio in our history, significantly larger than anything we've done in the past. These are all available today, including some new value class storage offerings. And our network portfolio is expanding now significantly. Well, that was a big surprise when I came into Lenovo, seeing the hundreds of engineers we had from the acquisition of Blade Network Technologies and others with our teams in Romania, Santa Clara, really building out both the embedded portfolio, but also the top-of-rack switches around 10 gig, 25 gig, and 100 gig. Significantly better economics, but all the performance you'd expect from the largest networking companies in the world. And those are also available today. On Think Agile and software defined, I think the one thing that has kind of overwhelmed me since coming into Lenovo is we are being embraced by our customers because of our lack of legacy. We're not trying to sell you one more legacy SAN at 65% margins. Think Agile really was founded, kind of born free from the shackles of legacy thinking and legacy infrastructure. And this is just the beginning of what's going to be an amazing new brand and the transformation to software defined. So for Lenovo, we're going to invest in our own internal organic IP. I'll foreshadow there's some significant joint ventures and some mergers and acquisitions that are going to be coming in this space. And so this will be the foundation for our software-defined networking and storage, for IoT, and ultimately for the 5G build-out as well. So this is all built for data centers of tomorrow that require fluid resources, tightly integrated software and hardware in kind of an appliance, selling at the rack level. And so we'll show you how that is going to take place here in a second. Think Agile, we have a few different offerings. One is around hyperconverged storage, hybrid cloud, and also software-defined storage. So we're really trying to redefine the customer experience. There's 2 different solutions we're having today. It's a Microsoft Azure solution and a Nutanix solution. These are going to be available both in the appliance space as well as in a full rack solution. And we're really simplifying and trying to transform the entire customer experience from how you order it. We've got new capacity planning tools that used to take literally days for us to get the capacity planning done. It's now going down to literally minutes. We've got new order, delivery, deployment, administration, service, something we're calling Think Agile Advantage, which is the white glove unboxing of the actual solutions on-prem. So the whole thing, when you hear about it in the breakout sessions, about transforming the entire customer experience with both an HX solution and an SX solution. So again, available at the rack level from both Nutanix and for Microsoft solutions, available in just a few months. Many of you in the audience, since the Microsoft Airlift event in Seattle, have started using these things, and the feedback to date has been fantastic. We appreciate the early customer adoption that we've seen from people in the audience here. So next, I want to bring up one of our most important partners. And certainly, if you look at all of these solutions, they're based on the next generation Intel Xeon Scalable processor that's going to be announcing very, very soon. I'd want to bring on stage Rupal Shah, who's the Corporate Vice President and General Manager of Global Data Center Sales with Intel. So Rupal, please join me. So certainly, I have long roots at Intel, but why don't you talk about, from Intel's perspective, why Lenovo is an important partner for Intel?
Great. Well, first of all, thank you very much. I've had the distinct pleasure of not only working with Kirk for many, many years, but also working with Lenovo for many years, so it's great to be here. Lenovo is not only a fantastic supplier and leader in the industry for Intel-based servers, but also a very active partner in the Intel ecosystem. And in the Intel ecosystem, specifically in our partner programs and in our builder programs around cloud, around the network, and around storage. I personally have had a long history in working with Lenovo, and I've seen personally that PC transformation that you talked about, Kirk. And I believe, and I know that Intel believes, in Lenovo's ability to not only succeed in the data center, but to actually lead in the data center. And so today, the Think System and Think Agile announcement is just so incredibly important. It's such a great testament to our two companies working together and the innovation that we're able to bring to the market, and all of it based on the Intel Xeon Scalable processor.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit about why, we've been collaborating. Tell me a little bit of why you're excited about Think System and Think Agile specifically.
Okay. Well, there are a lot of reasons that I'm excited about the innovation, but let me talk about a few. First, both of our companies really stand behind the fact that it's increasingly a hybrid world. Our two companies offer a range of solutions now to customers to be able to address their different workload needs. Think System really brings the best, right? It brings incredible performance, flexibility in data center deployment, and industry-leading reliability that you've talked about. And as always, Xeon has a history of being built for the data center specifically. And the Intel Xeon Scalable processor is really re-architected from the ground up in order to enhance compute, network, and storage data flows so that we can deliver workload-optimized performance for both a wide range of traditional workloads and traditional needs, but also some emerging new needs in areas like artificial intelligence. Second is, when it comes to the next generation of cloud infrastructure, the new Lenovo Think Agile line offers a truly integrated offering to address data center pain points. And so not only are you able to get these pre-tested solutions, but these pre-tested solutions are going to get deployed in your infrastructure faster, and they're going to be deployed in a way that's going to meet your specific needs. This is something that is new for both of us, and it's an incredible innovation in the marketplace. I think that it's a great addition to what is already a fantastic portfolio for Lenovo.
Excellent.
Finally, there's high-performance computing. In high-performance computing, first of all, congratulations. It's a big week, I think, for both of us. Fantastic work that we've been doing together in high-performance computing and actually bringing the best of the best to our customers, and you're going to hear a whole lot more about that.
So we obviously have a number of joint innovation centers together between Intel and Lenovo. Tell us about some of the key innovations that you guys are excited about.
Yeah. Well, Intel and Lenovo, we do have joint innovation labs around the world, and we have a long and strong history of very tight collaboration. This has brought a big wave of innovation to the marketplace in areas like software-defined infrastructure. Yet another area is working closely on a joint vision that I think our two companies have in artificial intelligence. Intel is very committed to the world of AI. And we're committed in making the investments required in technology development, in training, and also in R&D to be able to deliver end-to-end solutions. So with Intel's comprehensive technology portfolio and Lenovo's development and innovation expertise, it's a great combination in this space. Now, I've already talked a little bit about HPC, and so has Kirk, and we're going to hear a little bit more to come. But we're really building the fastest compute solutions for customers that are solving big problems. And finally, we often talk about processors from Intel, but it's not just about the processors. It's way beyond that. It's about engaging at the solution level for our customers. And I'm so excited about the work that we've done together with Lenovo to bring to market products like Intel OmniPath architecture, which is really the fabric for high-performance data centers. We've got a great showing this week with Intel OmniPath architecture, and I'm so grateful for all the work that we've done to be able to bring true solutions to the marketplace. I'm really looking forward to our future collaboration with Lenovo as we have in the past. I want to thank you again for inviting me here today, and congratulations on a fantastic launch.
Thank you, Rupal, very much for the long partnership. Appreciate it. Okay, well, let's now transition and talk a little bit about how Lenovo is transforming. And the first thing we've done when I came on board about 6 months ago is we've transformed to a truly end-to-end organization. We're looking at the market segments, I think, as our customers define them, and we've organized into having vice presidents and senior vice presidents in charge of each of these major groups, thinking really end-to-end, from architecture all the way to end of life and customer support. So the first is hyperscale infrastructure. It's about 20% of the market by 2020. We've hired a new vice president there to run that business. And given we can make money in high-volume desktop PCs, it's really the manufacturing prowess, deep engineering collaboration that's enabling us to sell into Baidu, into Alibaba, Tencent, as well as the largest cloud vendors on the West Coast here in the United States. But we believe we can make money here by having basically a deep, deep engineering engagement with our key customers and building on the PC volume economics that we have within Lenovo. On software-defined infrastructure, again, it's that lack of legacy that I think is propelling us into this space. We're not encumbered by trying to sell one more legacy SAN or router, and that's really what's exciting us here as we transform from a hardware to a software-based company. On HPC and AI, as we said, we'll talk about this in a second, we're the fastest growing supercomputing company on Earth. We have aspirations to be the largest supercomputing company on Earth, with China and the US vying for #1 in that position. It puts us in a good position there. And we're going to bridge that into artificial intelligence. In our upcoming Shanghai Tech World, the entire day is around AI. And in fact, Huawei has committed $1.2 billion to artificial intelligence over the next few years of R&D to help us bridge that. And then on data center infrastructure, it's really about moving to a solutions-based infrastructure, like our position with SAP HANA, where we've gone deep with engineers on-site at SAP, SAP running their own infrastructure on Lenovo, and building that out beyond just SAP to other solutions in the marketplace. And then overall, significantly expanding our services portfolio to maintain our #1 customer satisfaction rating. So given ISC, or International Supercomputing, this week in Frankfurt, and a lot of my team are actually over there, I wanted to just show you the transformation we've had at Lenovo for delivering some of the technology to solve some of the most challenging humanitarian problems on Earth. So today, we are the fastest growing supercomputer company on the planet in terms of number of systems on the top 500 list. We've gone from 0 to 92 positions in just a few short years. But IDC also positions Lenovo as the fastest growing supercomputer and HPC company overall at about 17% year-on-year growth overall, including all of the broad channel, the regional universities, and this kind of thing. So this is an exciting place for us. And I'm excited today that Sergi has come all the way from Spain to be with us today. It's an exciting time because this week we announced the fastest next-generation Intel supercomputer on the planet at Barcelona Supercomputer. Before I bring Sergi on stage, let's run a video and I'll show you why we're excited about the capabilities of these next-generation supercomputers. Run the video, please.
Different creates one of the most powerful supercomputers for the Barcelona Supercomputing Center, a high-performance, high-capacity design to help shape tomorrow's world. Different designs what's best for you, with 25 years of end-to-end expertise delivering large-scale solutions. It integrates easily with technology from industry partners through deep collaboration with the client to manufacture, test, configure, and install at global scale. Different achieves the impossible, the first of a new series. A more energy-efficient supercomputer, yet 10 times more powerful than its predecessor. With over 3,400 Lenovo ThinkSystem servers, each performing over 2 trillion calculations per second, giving us an 11.1 petaflop capacity. Different powers Mare Nostrum, a supercomputer that will help us better understand cancer, help discover disease-fighting therapies, predict the impact of climate change. Mare Nostrum 4.0 promises to uncover answers that will help solve humanity's greatest challenges.
So please help me in welcoming Operations Director of the Barcelona Supercomputer Center, Sergi Girona. So welcome, and again, congratulations. It's been a big week for both of us. But I think for a long time, if you haven't been to Barcelona, this has been called the world's most beautiful computer because it's in one of the most gorgeous chapels in the world, as you can see here. But congratulations, we now are number 13 on the top 500 list and the fastest next generation Intel computer.
Thank you very much. Congratulations to you as well.
Yeah. So maybe we can just talk a little bit about what you've done over the last few months with us.
Sure.
Great.
Thank you very much. So it's a pleasure for me being invited here to present you what we've been doing with Lenovo so far and what we're planning to do in the next future. Okay, so I'm representing here Barcelona Supercomputing Center. I'm presenting high-performance computing services to science and industry. So how we see these science services is the change of the paradigm on science. So we are coming from observation. We are coming from observation on the telescopes, on the microscopes, on the building of infrastructures. But this is not affordable anymore. This is very expensive, so it's not possible. So we need to move to simulation. So we need to understand what's happening on our environment. We need to predict behaviors only going through simulation. So at BSC, we are devoted to provide services to industry, to science, but also we are doing our own research because we want to understand. And at the same time, we are helping and developing the new engineers of the future on the IT, on HPC. So we are having 4 departments based on different topics. The main and big one is willing to understand how we are doing the next supercomputers, from the programming levels to the performance to the IA, so all these things. But we are having also interest on what's about the climate change, what's the air quality that we are having in our cities, what's the precision medicine we need to have, how we can see that the different drugs are better for different individuals, for different humans. And of course, we are having an engineering department who is taking care of understanding what's the better optimization for the code, how we can save energy running simulations on different topics. But of course, the topic of today is not my research, but it's the systems we are building in Barcelona. So this is what we've been building in Barcelona so far. So from left to right, you have the preparation for the facility, because this is 160 square meters with 1.5 megawatts. So that means we need new piping, we need new electricity. At the same time, in the center, we have to install the core services of the system, so the management racks. And then on the right-hand side, you have the installation of the networking, the OmniPath by Intel. Because all of the new racks has to be fully integrated, and they need to come in operations rapidly. So we start deployment of the systems May 15, and we've now been ending and coming in productions in July 1st. All the systems, all the equipped systems from Lenovo are coming before being open and available. What we've been installing here in Barcelona, it's general purpose systems for our general workload of the system with 3,456 nodes, every one of those having 48 cores, 96 gigabytes main memory for a total capacity of about 400 terabytes main memory. Okay? The objective of this is that we want to all the system, all the processors to work together for a single execution, for running all together. So this is an example of the Platinum processors from Intel having 24 cores each. Of course, for doing this together with all the cores in the same application, we need a high-speed network. So this is OmniPath. And of course, all these cables are connecting all the nodes, non-contention, working together, cooperating. Of course, this is a bunch of cables. They need to be properly aligned in switches. So here you have the complete self-presentation. Of course, this is general purpose, but we wanted to invest with our partners. We want to understand what are the supercomputers we wanted to install in 2020. Where is the exascale era? So we want to find out, and we are installing as well systems with different capacities, with KNH, with power, with ARM processors. We want to leverage our applications for the future. We want to make sure that in 2020 we are ready to move our users rapidly to the new technologies. Of course, this is in total giving us a total capacity of 13.7 petaflops. That it's 12 times the capacity of the former Mare Nostrum we installed 4 years ago. Because we need to provide these services to our scientists because they are helping to solve problems of our humanity. So that's the place we are going to go. So last is inviting you to come to Barcelona to see our place in our chapel. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. So now you can all go home to your spouses and significant others. You have a formal invitation to Barcelona, Spain. So last, I want to talk about what we've done to transform Lenovo, because I think we all know the history is nice, but without execution, none of this is going to be possible going forward. So we have been very, very busy over the last 6 months to a year of transforming Lenovo's data center organization. First, we've moved to a dedicated end-to-end sales and marketing organization. In the past, we had people that were shared between PC and data center. Now, thousands of salespeople around the world are 100% dedicated end-to-end to our data center clients. We've moved to a fully integrated and dedicated supply chain and procurement organization, a fully dedicated quality organization, 100% dedicated to expanding our data center success. We've moved to a customer-centric segments, again, bringing in significant new leaders from outside the company to look end-to-end at each of these segments, supercomputing being very, very different than small business, being very, very different than taking care of, for example, a large retailer or bank. So around hyperscale, software-defined infrastructure, HPC, AI, and supercomputing, and a data center solutions-led infrastructure. We've built out a whole new set of global channel programs. Last year, or a year past, we had 5 different channel programs around the world. We've now got one simplified channel program for deal registration. I think our channel is very, very energized to go out to market with Lenovo technology across the board. And a whole new set of system integrator relationships. You're going to hear from one of them in Christian's discussion, but a whole new set of partnerships to build solutions together with our system integrator partners. And again, as I mentioned, a brand new leadership team. So look forward to talking about the details of this, but there's been a significant amount of transformation internal to Lenovo that's led to the successes of this new product introduction today. So in conclusion, I want to talk about the news of the day. We are transforming Lenovo to the next phase of our data center growth. Again, in over 160 countries, closing on that first phase of transformation and moving forward with some unique declarations. We're launching the largest portfolio in our history, not just in servers, but in storage and networking, as everything becomes kind of a software personality on top of x86 compute. We think we're very well positioned with our scale on PCs as well as data center. 2 new brands for both data center infrastructure and software defined without the legacy shackles of our competitors, enabling us to move very, very quickly into software defined. And again, foreshadowing some joint ventures and M&A that are going to be coming up that will further accelerate ourselves there. New premier support offerings, enabling you to get direct access to level 2 engineers, and white glove unboxing services, which are going to be bundled along with ThinkAgile. And then celebrating the milestone of 25 years in x86 server compute, not just ThinkPads that you'll hear about shortly, but also our 20 million server shipping next month. So we're celebrating that legacy and looking forward to the next phase. And then making sure we have the execution engine to maintain our position and grow it, being #1 in customer satisfaction and #1 in quality. So with that, thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you in the breakouts today and talking with many of you. And I'll bring Rod back up to transition us to the next section. Thank you.
All right, Kirk. Thank you, sir. I got one. I'm good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what did you think of that? How about a big round of applause for ThinkAgile, ThinkSystems, new brands? And obviously with that comes a big round of applause for Kirk Skaugen, my boss. So we've got to give him a big round of applause, please. I need to stay employed. It's very important. All right, now you just heard from Kirk about some of the new systems, the brands. How about we have a quick look at the video which shows us the brand new DCG images.
Legacy thinking is dead, stuck in the past, selling the same old stuff over and over. So then why does it seem like the data center, you know, that thing powering all our little devices and more or less every interaction today, is still stuck in legacy thinking? Because it's rigid, inflexible, slow. But that's not us. We don't do legacy. We do different. Because different is fearless. Different reduces cloud deployment from days to hours. Different creates agile technology that others follow. Different is fluid. It uses water cooling technology to save energy. It co-innovates with some of the best minds in the industry today. Different is better, smarter. Maybe that's why Different already holds so many world record benchmarks in everything, from virtualization to database and application performance, or why it's #1 in reliability and customer satisfaction. Legacy sells you what they want. Different builds the data center you need without locking you in. Introducing the Data Center Group at Lenovo. Different is better.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause once again for Lenovo DCG. Fantastic, and I'm sure all of you would agree, and Kirk mentioned it a couple of times there, no legacy means a real consultative approach to our customers, and that's something that we really feel is differentiated for ourselves. We are effectively now one of the largest startups in the DCG space, and we are very much ready to disrupt. Now, here in New York City, obviously the heart of the fashion industry, and much like fashion, as I mentioned earlier, we're different, we're disruptive, we're agile, smarter, and faster. I'd like to say that about myself, but unfortunately I can't. But those of you who have observed, you may have noticed that I too have transformed, right? I don't know if anyone saw that. I've transformed from the pinstripe blue, white shirt, red tie look of the, shall we say, our predecessors who owned the x86 business to now a very Lenovo look, no tie, and consequently a little bit more chic New York sort of fashion look, shall I say. Nothing more than that. So anyway, a bit of a transformation. It takes a lot to get to this look, by the way. There's a lot of effort. All right. So our next speaker, Christian Theismann, is going to talk a lot about the core business of Lenovo, which really has been, as we've mentioned today, our ThinkPad. 25-year anniversary this year. It's going to be a great celebration inside Lenovo. And as we get through the year and we get closer and closer to the date, you'll see a lot more social and digital work that engages our customers, partners, analysts, etc., when we get closer to that birthday. Customers just generally are a lot tougher on computers. We know they are, whether you're hanging onto it between meetings from the corner of the notebook, and that's why we have magnesium chassis inside the box, or whether you're just dropping it or hypothetically doing anything else like that. We do a lot of robust testing in these products, and that's why it's the #1 branded notebook in the world. So Christian talks a lot about this, but I thought instead of having him talk, I might just do a little impromptu jump backstage, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So follow me for a second. I'm going to jump this way. I know a lot of you would have seen, obviously, the front of house here, what we call the front of house, lots of videos, etc. But I don't think many of you would have seen the back of house here. So I'm going to jump through the back here. Hang on one second. And you'll see us when we get here. Okay, let's see what's going on backstage right now. You can see one of the team here in the backstage is obviously working on their keyboard. Fantastic. Let me tell you, this is one of the key value props of this product. Obviously still working. Lots of coffee all over it. Spill-proof keyboard, one of the key value propositions and why this is the #1 laptop brand in the world. Congratulations there. Well done to that. Obviously, we test these things. Height, distances, mil-spec approved. Once again, fantastic product. Pick that up. Lovely. Absolutely resistant to any height or drops. Once again, in line with our mil-spec. This is Charles, our producer and director at Backstage for the Absolute event. You can see, once again, sand. Coincidentally, in Manhattan, who would have thought a snowstorm was occurring here? But you can throw sand. We test these things for all of the elements. I've obviously been pretty keen on our development solutions, having lived in Japan for 12 years. We had this originally designed in 1992 by Arimasa Naito. He's still our Chief Development Officer still today. Fantastic. Congratulations, a sand-enhanced notebook. You'd love that. All right, let's get back out front and on with the show. Watch the coffee. All right, let's rock. All right, how was that? Not too bad. Wasn't very impromptu at all, was it? Not at all a setup. I don't know how many people have events and have a bag of sand sitting on the floor right next to a notebook. I don't know. All right, now it's time, obviously, to introduce our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope I didn't steal his thunder, obviously, in my conversations just now that you saw backstage. He's one of my best friends in Lenovo and easily is a great representative of our legendary PC products and solutions that we're putting together for all of our customers right now. And having been an expat with Lenovo in New York, really calls this his second home and is continually fighting with me over the fact that he believes New York has better sushi than Tokyo. Let's welcome, please, Christian Theismann, our SVP Commercial Business Segment and PC Smart Office. Christian Theismann, come on up, mate.
You really stole all my thunder. So, Rod, thank you very much for this wonderful introduction. Not sure how much there is to add at what you have seen already backstage, but I think there is a 25-year of history I will touch a little bit on, but also a very big transformation. But first of all, again, welcome to New York. As Rod said, it's my second home, but it's also a very important place for the ThinkPad, and I will come back to this later. The ThinkPad is the industry standard of business computing. It's an industry icon. We're celebrating 25 years this year, like no other PC brand has done before. But this story today is not looking back only. It's a story looking forward about the future of PC, and we see a transformation from PCs to personalized computing. I'm privileged to lead the commercial PC and smart device business for Lenovo, but much more important beyond product, I also are responsible for customer experience. And this is what really matters on an ongoing basis. But allow me to stay a little bit longer with our iconic ThinkPad and the history of the last 25 years. ThinkPad has always stand for two things, and it always will be. Highest quality in the industry and technology innovation leadership that matters. That matters for you and that matters for your end users. So now let me step back a little bit in time. As Rod was showing you, as only Rod can do, reliability is a very important part of ThinkPad's story. ThinkPads have been used everywhere and done everything. They've survived fires and extreme weather, and they keep surviving your end users. For 25 years, they've been built for real business. ThinkPad also has a legacy of first in innovation. There are so many firsts over the last 25 years, we could spend an hour talking about them. But I just want to cover a couple of the most important milestones. So first of all, the ThinkPad 1992 has been developed and invented in Japan on the base design of a bento box. And it was designed by the famous industrial designer Richard Zappa. Did you also know that the ThinkPad was the first commercial notebook flying into space? In '93, we traveled with the space shuttle the first time. And for 2 decades, ThinkPads were on every single mission. Did you know that the ThinkPad Butterfly, the iconic ThinkPad that opens the keyboard to its size, is the first and only computer showcased in the permanent collection of the Museum of Modern Art, right here in New York City. 10 years later, in 2005, IBM passed the torch to Lenovo, and the story got even better. Over the last 12 years, we sold over 100 million ThinkPads, 4 times the amount IBM sold in the same time. Many customers were concerned at that time, but since then, the ThinkPad has remained the best business notebook in the industry, with even better quality, but most important, we kept innovating. In 2012, we unveiled the X1 Carbon. It was the thinnest, lightest, and still most robust business PC in the world. Using advanced composited materials like a Formula One car for super strength, X1 Carbon has become our ThinkPad flagship since then. And we've added an X1 Carbon Yoga, a 360-degree convertible, an X1 Carbon tablet, a detachable, and many new products to come in the future. And over the last few years, many new firsts have been focused on providing the best end-user experience. The first dual-screen mobile workstation, first Windows business tablet, and the first business PC with an OLED screen technology. But history is important, but a massive transformation is on the way. Future success requires us to think beyond the box, think beyond hardware, think beyond notebooks and desktops, and to think about the future of personalized computing. Now, why is this happening? Well, because the business world is rapidly changing. The great looking back on history that YY gave, and the acceleration of innovation and how it changes our everyday life in business and in personal, is driving a massive change also to our industry. But most important, because you are changing faster than ever before. Human capital is your most important asset. And today's generation, they want to have freedom of choice. They want to have a product that is tailored to their specific needs every single day, every single minute when they use it. But also IT is changing. The cloud, constant connectivity, 5G will change everything. And artificial intelligence is adding things to the capability of an infrastructure that we just can starting to imagine. Let me talk about the workforce first, because it's the most important part what drives this. The millennials will comprise more than half of the world's workforce in 2020, 3 years from now. Already 1 out of 3 millennials is prioritizing mobile work environment over salary. And for nearly 60% of all new hires in the United States, technology is a very important factor for their job search in terms of the way they work and the way they're empowered. This generation of new employees has grown up with PCs, with smartphones, with tablets, with touch, for their personal use and for their education use. They want freedom. Second, the workplace is transforming. The video you see here in the background, this is our North America headquarters in Raleigh, where we have a brand new smart workspace. We have transformed this to attract a new generation of workers. It has fewer traditional workspaces, much more meeting and collaborative spaces. And Lenovo, like many companies, is seeing workspaces getting smaller. An average workspace per employee has decreased by 30% over the last 5 years. Employees are increasingly mobile, but if they come to the office, they want to collaborate with their colleagues. And the way we collaborate and communicate is changing. Investment in new collaboration technology is exploding. The market of collaboration technologies is exceeding the market of personal computing today, and it will grow in the future. Conference rooms are being reimagined from a ratio of 50 employees to one large conference room. Today, we are moving into scenarios of 4 employees to 1 conference room. And these are huddle rooms, pioneer spaces. And technology is everywhere. Video, mega screens, audio, electronic whiteboards, adaptive technologies are popping up and change the way we work. And as I said earlier, the pace of the revolution is astonishing. So personalized computing will transform the PC we all know. And there's a couple of key factors that we are integrating in our next generations of PC as we go forward. So the most important trends that we see, first of all, choose your own device. We talked about this new generation of workforce, employees who are used to choosing their own device. We have to respond and offer devices that are tailored to each end user's needs without adding complexity to how we operate them. PC as a service. Corporations increasingly are looking for on-demand computing in data center as well as in personal computing. Customers want flexibility, a tailored management solution, and a services portfolio that completes the life cycle of the device. Agile IT. Even more important, corporations want to run an infrastructure that is agile, instant respond to their end customer needs, that is self-provisioning, self-diagnostic, and remote software repair. Artificial intelligence. Think about artificial intelligence for you personally as your personal assistant. A personal assistant which does understand you, your schedule, your travel, your next task, an extension of yourself. We believe the PC will be the center of this mobile device universe. Mobile device synergy. Each of you have 2 devices or more with you. They need to work together, across different operating systems, across different platforms. And we believe Lenovo is uniquely positioned as the only company who has a smartphone business, a PC business, and an infrastructure business to really seamlessly integrate all of these devices for simplicity and for efficiency. Augmented reality. We believe augmented reality will drive significantly productivity improvements in commercial business. The core will be to understand industry-specific solutions, your processes, your business challenges, to improve things like customer services and sales. Security will remain the foundation for personalized computing. Without security, without trust in the device integrity, this will not going to happen. One of the most important trends, I believe, is that the PC will transform as always connected and always on, like a smartphone. Regardless if it's open, if it's closed, if you carry it, or if you work with it, it always is capable to respond to you and to work with you. 5G is becoming a reality, and The data capacity that will be out there is by far exceeding today's traffic imagination. And finally, smart office. Delivering flexible and collaborative work environments regardless on where the worker sits, fully integrated and leverages all the technologies we just talked before. These are the main challenges you and all of your CIO and CTO colleagues have to face today. A changing workforce and a new set of technologies that are transforming PC into personalized computing. Let me give you a real example of a challenge. DXC was just formed by merging CSC company and HP's enterprise services to the largest independent services company in the world. DXC is now a 25 billion IT services leader with more than 170,000 employees, their most important capital, 6,000 clients, and 8 million managed devices. I'd like to welcome their CIO, who has one of the most challenging workforce transformation in front of him, Erich Windmüller. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Welcome.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So first of all, let me congratulate you to this very special time by forming a new multi-billion-dollar enterprise, this new venture. I think it has been so far fantastically received by analysts, by the press, by customers. And we are delighted to be one of your strategic partners. And clearly, we are collaborating around workforce transformation between our two companies. But let me ask you a couple of more personal questions. So by bringing these two companies together with nearly 200,000 employees, what are the first actions you're taking to make this a success? And what are your biggest challenges?
Well, first, again, let me thank you for inviting me and for DXC Technology to be a part of this very, very special event with Lenovo. So thank you. So as many of you might expect, it's been a bit of a challenge over the past several months. And my goal was really very simple. It was to make sure that we brought two companies together and they could operate as one. We need to make sure that we could continue to support our clients. We certainly need to make sure we could continue to sell, our sellers could sell, that we could pay our employees, that we could hire people, we could do all the basic foundational things that you might expect a company would want to do. But we really focused on three simple areas. I called it the 3 C's: connectivity, communicate, and collaborate. So we want to make sure that we connected our legacy data centers so we could transfer information and communicate back and forth. We certainly wanted to be sure that our employees could communicate via Wi-Fi, whatever locations they may or may not go to. We certainly wanted to, when we talk about communicate, we needed to be sure that every one of our employees could send and receive email as a DXC employee. And that we had a single enterprise directory and people could communicate, gain access to calendars across each of the two legacy companies. And then collaborate was also key. And so we wanted to be sure, again, that people could communicate across each other, that our legacy employees on either side could get access to many of their legacy systems. And again, we could collaborate together as a single corporation. So it was challenging, but very, very great opportunity for all of us. And certainly, you might expect cyber and security was a great, very, very important topic. My chairman challenged me that we had to be at least as good as we were before from a cyber perspective. And when you bring two large companies together like that, there's clearly an opportunity in this disruptive world. So we wanted to be sure that we had a very, very strong cyber security posture, of which Lenovo has been very, very helpful in our achieving that.
Thank you, Eric. So what does DXC consider as their critical solutions and technology for workplace transformation, both internally as well as out in the market?
So workplace transformation, and again, I've heard a lot of the same kinds of words that I would espouse. It's all about making our employees productive. It's giving them the right tools to do their jobs. You know, I personally have been focused, and you know this because Lenovo has been a very, very big part of this, in working with we call it our My Style Work. It's an offering team and developing a solution and driving as much functionality as possible down to the workstation. want to be able to, for me to avoid and eliminate other ancillary costs, audio, video costs, telecommunications costs. The platform that we have, the digitized workstation that Lenovo has provided us, is just got a tremendous amount of capability. We want to streamline those solutions as well on top of the modern server, the modern platform as we call it internally. And I'd like to congratulate Kirk and your team that you guys have successfully, your hardware has been certified on our modern platform, which is a significant accomplishment between our two companies in our partnerships. It was really, really foundational. So Lenovo is a big part of our digitized workstation transformation, and you'll continue to be. So it's very, very important, and I want you to know that your tools and your products have done a significant job in helping us bring two large corporations together as one.
Thank you, Eric. Last question. What is your view on device as a service and hardware utility model?
This is the easy question, right? So who in the room doesn't like PC or device as a service? This is a tremendous opportunity, I think, for all of us. Our corporation, like many of you in the room, we're all driven by the concept of buying devices in an OpEx versus a CapEx type of a world, and being able to pay as you go. And I think this is something that all of us would like to procure products, services, and products, if you will, personal products, in this type of a mode. So I am very, very eager to work with Lenovo to be sure that we bring forth a very dynamic and constructive device as a service approach. So I'm very eager to do that with Lenovo and bring that forward for DXC Technology.
Eric, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to work with you today and going forward on all sides. But I think with your new company and our lineup, I think we have great things to come. Thank you very much.
Very much. My pleasure. Great pleasure. Thank you very much.
So what's next for Lenovo PC? We already have the most comprehensive commercial portfolio in the industry. We have put the end user in the core of our portfolio definition going forward. Ultra-mobile users, like consultants, analysts, sales and service. Heavy compute users, like engineers and designers. Industry users, increasingly more understanding industry-specific use cases, like education, healthcare, or banking. So there are a few exciting things we have to announce today. And obviously, we don't have that broad of an announcement like our colleagues from the data center side. But there's one thing that I have that actually, thank you, Rod, looks like a bento box. But it's not a ThinkPad. It's a first of its kind. It's the world's smallest professional workstation. It has the power of a tower in a bento box. It has the newest Intel Core i architecture, and it's designed for a wide range of heavy-duty workload. Innovation continues, not only in the ThinkPad, but also in the desktops and workstations. Second, you heard much about smart office and workspace transformation today. And I'm excited to announce that we have made a strategic decision to expand our Think portfolio into smart office. And we will soon have solutions on the table in conference rooms, working with strategic partners like Intel and like Microsoft. We are focused on a set of devices and a software architecture that, as an IoT architecture, unifies the management of smart office. We want to move fast, so our target is that we will have a first product already later this year. More to come. And finally, what gets me most excited is the upcoming 25th anniversary in October. Actually, if you go to Japan, there are many ThinkPad lovers, actually beyond lovers, enthusiasts who are collectors. And we've been consistently asked in blogs and forums about a special anniversary edition. So let me offer you a first glimpse what we will announce in October. of something we are bringing to market later this year. For the anniversary, we will introduce a limited edition product. This will include a throwback features from ThinkPad's history, as well as the best and most powerful features of the ThinkPad today. But we are not just making incremental adjustments to the Think product line. We are rethinking ThinkPad of the future. Well, here is what I would call a concept car. Maybe a ThinkPad without a hinge. Maybe one you can fold. What do you think? But this is more than just design or look and feel. It's a new set of advanced materials and new screen technologies. It's how you can speak to it or write on it, or how it speaks to you. Always connected, always on, and can communicate on multiple inputs and outputs. It will anticipate your next meeting, your next travel, your next task. And when you put it all together, it's just another part of the story, which we call personalized computing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Good on you, mate. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the conclusion of the day, for this session anyway. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about our breakouts and our demo rooms next door. But how about the power with no tower from Christian, huh? Big round of applause. And what about the concept car, the ThinkPad? Pretty good, huh? I love that as well. I tell you, it was almost like Leonardo DiCaprio was up on stage at one stage. He put that big ThinkPad concept and everyone's phones went straight up and took a photo, the whole audience. So let's be very selective on how we distribute that. I'm sure it's already on Twitter. I'll check it out in a second. All right. So once again, ThinkPad brand is a core part of the organization. And together, both DCG and PCSD, what we call PCSD, which is our client side of the business and smart device side of the business, are obviously very, very linked in transforming Lenovo for the future. We want to also transform the industry, obviously, and transform the way that all of us do business. Lenovo, if you look at basically a summary of the day, we're highly committed to being a top 3 data center provider. That's really important for us. We're the largest and fastest growing supercomputing company in the world, and Kirk actually mentioned earlier on, committed to being #1 by 2020. So Madhu, who's in Frankfurt at the International Supercomputing Convention, if you're watching, congratulations, your targets have gone up. There's no doubt he's going to have a lot of work to do. We're obviously very, very committed to disrupting the data center. That's obviously really important for us. And as we mentioned, with both the brands, the Think System and our Think Agile brands now, highly focused on disrupting and ensuring that we do things differently because different is better. Thank you to our customers, our partners, media, analysts, and of course, once again, all of our employees who have been on this journey with us over the last 2 years that's really culminating today in the launch of all of our new products and our profile and our portfolio. It's really thanks to all of you that once again on your feedback we've been able to get to this day. And now really our journey truly begins in ensuring we are disrupting and ensuring that we are bringing more value to our customers without that legacy that Kirk mentioned earlier on is really an advantage for us as we really are that large startup from a company perspective. It's an exciting time to be part of Lenovo. It's an exciting time to be associated with Lenovo, and I hope very much all of you feel that way. So a big round of applause for today. Thank you very much. I need to remind all of you, and I don't think I'm going to have too much trouble getting you out there because I was just looking at Christian on the streaming solutions out in the room out the back there, and there's quite a nice bit of lunch out there as well for those of you who are hungry. So at least there's some good food out there, but I think in reality, all of you should be getting up into the demo sessions with our segment general managers because that's really where the rubber hits the road. You've heard from YY, you've heard from Kirk, and you've heard from Christian. All of our general managers and our specialists in our product sets are going to be up there to obviously demonstrate our technology. As we said at the very beginning of this session, this is Transform, obviously the fashion change. Hopefully you remember that. Transform, we've all gone through the transformation. It's part of our season of events globally, and our next event, obviously, is going to be in Tech World in Shanghai on the 20th of July. I hope very much, for those of you who are going to attend, have a great safe travel over there. We look forward to seeing you. Hope you've had a good morning, and get into the sessions next door so you get to understand the technology. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.